Feeling scattered or overstimulated? Let me show you a creative way to slow your thoughts with just a pen and paper. It's called the Zentangle Method, and today we're learning a beautiful pattern that's a new one, and it's called Meckerel. So I'm just going to get started and then I'll start to introduce myself and who I am. So today's tangle is called Meckerel. In fact, I'm just going to even get started going straight in with ink. And this tangle starts with an upside down heart. I'm just going to do a quick version of it before I kind of do one that's a kind of a bit more ornate. So we start with an upside down heart just like this, and then we're going to create what in Zentangle terms is called an aura. And what I mean by that is that we are creating a line that mimics the line next to it, and we're trying to maintain the same distance apart all the way around. And then we're going to do that on the other side, but this is going to be a mirrored one. So we do a loop that kind of tapers off to the side. It's going to point up the way, so you end up with two kind of basically teardrop shapes. Then we're going to have another heart shape that comes out of the top of this. You could create, if you like, a full heart shape, like, you know, starting from up here, but I just, for some reason, I always put a diamond shape in here first. So then starting from where the point of this heart is, we're going to create a heart shape that is as if this heart is disappearing behind the first one that we drew. Draw the other side of it, meet that there. And then we're going to take this line here and follow that around so that we're now auraing the second heart. And obviously you see, if I had started this tangle a bit further down that tile, I would have ended up with basically this heart wouldn't have been cut off at the top. That's just basically where I've started that on that page. This is the full tangle from start to finish, but now I'm going to show you how you can actually do something a bit more interesting with it. And it's basically the same thing that I've seen you know, in the step outs from Hiroko Matsuo, who created this tangle. This was inspired by her own step out demonstration that she had. So to create what she had, I think she's a female Zentangle teacher. I don't honestly know. You don't have to do this pencil of and you know, an orb in the middle. I'm just kind of doing that for myself. And then what we're going to do here is that we're going to create our upside down heart shapes, pointing them to each corner. You see here, there's a bit of a gap and there's less of a gap here. Don't worry, it does not matter at all. If you're new, this one's even wider of a gap. If you're new to Zentangle, the freeing thing about this art form is that you're just doing this really for the, well, I say you're just doing it for the process. A big thing with this art form is the process, more so than with other art forms where you may be thinking about perfection in the context of a portrait, you know, unless you're Picasso or something, you're trying to create something that represents something else, whereas Zentangle is very, very relaxing because it's so abstract, it doesn't look like anything else. So you're just kind of taking your time with it. You can see I created those aura lines like I showed you in the first version of this. So I'm just going to create that in all of these hearts. You could, this is a personal preference, you could do each individual full Meckerel shape and then go on to the next one. I kind of just like, let's see how that went really narrow. Again, doesn't matter. But yeah, I think it's almost more mindful if you do the same stroke on each different space and then you go on to the next stroke and repeat that for each of the different spaces. So we've got all of those individual bits down. Now we're going to create sort of like a diamond shape that kind of points into where that point of the heart is. Do that in each of these bits. And then the next bit is to draw a heart. And the way that I've drawn it, just like I went when I did the first one before, the heart was too big to be contained in that corner of the tile. So it's just disappeared off, and that's absolutely fine. So while I'm getting on with drawing these other hearts, I'll just introduce myself for those of you who may not have met me yet. I am Lisa Crow, and I am a certified Zentangle teacher based in Glasgow in Scotland. I've been doing Zentangle since 2017, so I've been doing it for quite a long time, although I've only been a Zentangle teacher since September 2022. And this art form has just been amazing for my anxiety. I've suffered from anxiety for a long time, and nothing has helped me in the way that Zentangle has. Nothing at all. So perhaps you might be the same. YouTube actually was where I came across Zentangle for the first time, the Zentangle Method. I came on here back in 2017. I was absolutely obsessed at the time with spirograph, and I decided to go off and find different spirograph tutorials and lessons on YouTube, and the YouTube algorithm obviously thought, well, she might be interested in the Zentangle method as well. And the rest, as they say, is history. And I'm now teaching the Zentangle method as part of my own business, which is really quite exciting. It's genuinely changed my life. It's been that significant in my life. So at this point, I am now going to just ink in that little graphite orb that I put down at the start. And then you'll see I've got an example that I created before. I've only done this once before because it's quite newly released on Tangle Patterns. But it's just such a lovely thing. So I did this gemstone in the first one, it was done with metallic pencils, like kind of gold. But with this one, I'm going to just add a bit of pencil and just, it's not necessarily like a gemstone, but it just makes it look a little bit less flat to have that kind of pencil there. Makes it look spherical maybe, or just as if it's got some shape. And then I'm going to add some pencil going around the outside. And I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. Excuse me. Today, I've been off work with my little daughter, who is 5. Some of you will have heard me speaking about Isla before. She has been off school today because it's a bank holiday Monday here in Scotland. And so I was just at my mum's house today, and my sister and my nephews were also there. So it's been a lovely day spending time with the kids. Managed to get Isla off to sleep, so I'm not getting disturbed by her. I do normally film these videos on a Monday morning. That's part of my routine, but today, with Isla being here, I didn't do that. So I'm here sitting at my desk on Monday evening. Bob, my husband, has gone out for a walk. So it almost feels like I've got the house to myself. I'm just going round adding, I mean, you obviously feel free to tackle your shading in a completely different way, but you can see where I'm adding any graphite. It's just basically any bit where your tangle would overlap another bit of the tangle and create a bit of a shadow. That's just where I'm inclined usually to put my shading. But yeah, a bank holiday, and there's another bank holiday again in the latter part of the month, and I can't actually believe where the time's gone. It also feels ridiculous because I feel like Isla's just been off school and she's off school again. It'll be soon time for me to start my membership. I'm launching my membership in June. So if you don't know anything about my membership, it's a monthly live lesson that I'll be doing online for all members. And if you can't attend at the live time, you'll obviously have access to the replay. And I'm going to be having pre-recorded content put together as well for each month. I can't actually believe that we're getting so close to the time. I'm actually, for a business owner, I'm really not very good for marketing my own things. It feels a bit unnatural sometimes, to be honest, to shout about myself, but that's what you need to do as a business owner. So if you're interested, you can see some of these bits I've not actually shaded, but you can always use the graphite from the blending stump. There's usually enough graphite on the blending stump as well. Or, you know, feel free to just go back over the bit that you missed with pencil. It's not a big deal. So yeah, no, I'm very bad at promoting my own stuff. So if you're interested in the membership at all, just drop me an email and then I can give you some more information. So my email is lisa@createandcam.art. And then you can perhaps sign up as a result of that. You'd obviously be more than welcome. I would love to see you there. So many people who subscribe to my channel regularly comment, and I still, at this point in time, I don't know many of your actual names. I just know the handle that you have on YouTube. So it'd be nice to get to know you better if you'd be interested in joining my membership. So we've come to the bit now where we want to add our chop. So in fact, you know what? I'm going to add another different layer in here, if that's the right way of putting it. So what I mean by this, I'm going to simply add an aura that's an aura of the whole shape. Just all the way around. And I think actually I'm going to aura even in these smaller bits. This will change the look a little bit. I think there's something very calming about drawing an aura line, because it's not, you're not tracing, because obviously if you're tracing you'd be going directly over that line. But I find it really relaxing because you do have a point of reference. And you find yourself, well I do anyway, find myself taking time to create that aura line because of the fact that you don't want to mess it up, for want of a better word. In Zentangle there are no mistakes. What you draw is there for a reason. So if you have drawn what you perceive to be a mistake, you can look at that instead as a new opportunity and a way to take your artwork in a different direction than you would have otherwise, perhaps. And even if you are not really interested in joining the membership just now, for whatever reason, you might be interested in joining my email list. I just put out a weekly newsletter. Sometimes it's not even as frequent as that because I'm not very good at remembering to post it. But I have a supposed weekly email that goes out. And I'm just going to put some triangles inside these shapes. And that's just where you can find out any more updates about what I'm going to be doing. Various new lessons that I have coming up and whatnot. Now I'm trying to actually figure out if I've auraed these bits. No, I don't think I had. But I think you can see what a difference it actually makes when you go around that original line, you know, and create an aura. Just add something. And I'm going to now aura, not inside where the heart shapes were, but I'm going to I'm going to shade in these bits that are either side of the hearts. Usually at this point, I might ask people if they've tangled this particular tangle before, if they enjoy it. But I don't suppose many people will have actually done Meckerel as of yet because of the fact that it's so new. I subscribe to the newsletter that's sent out by Tangle Patterns, and this was included in the list of tangles that was mentioned in the one that came out on Sunday. What day is it today? Monday. So it was yesterday. It was just on the Tangle Patterns email yesterday. And also, let me know in the comments if there are any particular tangles that you would like me to teach in the future, even if you've seen them from another Zentangle teacher and you would just like to see how I would tackle it, if that's the right way of putting it. Let me know. Somebody just in the last couple of days has requested perk, which I love, so I'm going to be creating perk in the next wee while, so watch out for that. And now I'm going to just add my chop here, my identifier, just saying that I've created this tile. It's my signature, as it were. You could put your initials, you could put your first name, a symbol, just something that acknowledges that you created this. So I don't know about you, but when I create, now that I've created this, I feel really, really relaxed. So I hope, even if you haven't actually tangled with me today and you might just be watching, I hope that you feel more calm and relaxed yourself. And this tangle here, this tile, is one that I created, can't even remember when I did it now, I think it was last night rather than this morning. So it's the only one that I have to show of like an example of previous ones that I've done, and you can see I've done it pretty much the same way that I did tonight's, but it's lovely. And I'm going to share in my description on my video, I'm going to share the step outs from Hiroko Matsuo's version that she had. So when you see, I think, I don't know, but I think that the tile that's in the step outs, that's she's got one that's a triangular format, so that the individual Meckerel shapes are around a triangle. But she's got another one where she's got them same as I have, so that they're in each corner. But she's also got other Meckerel shapes in these bits here. And she's got her hearts filled in as well. So that'll give you a little bit more inspiration, and I hope that you give this tangle a go, because I just loved this one. I just thought it was really, really nice. And if you've been watching my tangles for a while, if you've been following this channel, you will know, I'm just going to blend this out a wee bit more, you will know that I like tangles that kind of have a Celtic knot type feel to them. So it might look a wee bit tricky when you first see it, but it's actually very, very easy to do. It's very easy to follow along with. So I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you at another of my videos in the future. So have a happy week and happy tangling. Bye.